Hello, I'm Peter Hendikopp, President of the World Council of Optometry. Welcome to World Optometry Week. This week highlights how the optometric community works towards enhancing vision and eye health worldwide, not only improving health, but also social, economic, and employment outcomes for society. We would like to take a moment to pause and celebrate all optometrists for their contributions to our profession and to addressing eye health and vision care needs of our communities. The World Council of Optometry is doing our part towards these goals by working on action items from the World Health Organization's World Report on Vision and producing timely and educational webinars to keep the profession informed. We're also continuing our partnership with Cooper Vision to address myopia management as a standard of care and optometric practice. We encourage you and your colleagues to join and support WCO and stay active in both your national and regional organizations. Together, we can increase awareness of optometry around the globe. Today, Professor Edward Mallon, ECOO's regional rep to the WCO Board of Directors, is speaking about the importance, challenges, and accomplishments of optometry in the European region.
In our region of Europe, so we're in the UK here, optometry remains a really important profession for the care of patients' vision and for case finding, for other treatments related to ophthalmology and other systemic health conditions. So it's a fundamental part of patient care. And you know, we've been through an awful lot recently with the situation with COVID, which has created huge change in the way we practice. Now, it's great to see us getting back to some sense of normality now that we've had various vaccine rollouts and boosters and modified the way we do things. But we really did have to go through an awful lot of change in relation to the maintenance of an optometry and ophthalmic service, dispensing service within our area. And it's really thanks to all of the practitioners that have helped that to take place, and all of the groups, certainly in the UK, that have helped to advise practitioners on what they should be doing. And I'll mention the College of Optometrists, professional body here in the UK, that did a lot of work around provision of new services to help with the COVID situation. So, you know, optometry remains hugely important to all of our patients, be they young, be they old, and you know, it's great to be part of that, really. And it really has highlighted that when optometry isn't there, as we saw right at the very start of COVID, when many practices were closed, the effect that had on many people. So really, it has reminded us how important optometry is, and how lucky we are to have a well-developed optometry provision. And I'm an educator, so it's great for me to be able to pass all of this on to our students as well. A key challenge at the moment is around the upskilling of optometrists. Many optometrists now want to expand their scope of practice and move into differing areas so that they can do more to help their patients. And you know, this is particularly important with an aging population, where we're seeing the burden of eye problems increasing. So there are huge challenges around, you know, the glaucoma and medical retina areas, as well as refractive development, which is my own research area. And indeed, it will be very interesting to see how COVID has affected the myopia landscape as well, with children working at home and you know, not getting out and around into schools, etc. But I think the big challenge lies around that upskilling area that I mentioned, and the additional training that people are really hungry to take part in. And one limiting factor to all of that is placement activities. We see this particularly around independent prescribing, and around advanced clinical work to increase the case mix that an optometrist can see in glaucoma and in medical retina, and in areas like low vision and refractive management. So I think those challenges around getting optometrists into a high quality clinical placement that will enable them to expand their clinical remit is a real issue at the moment. We have so many practitioners that really want to do more, to offer more to their patients, but it's that placement activity that appears to be a pinch point for them. So I think we really need to work all across eye care, so involving ophthalmology as well as general medicine and the secondary care hospital sectors to really pull together to try and expand those placement activities. All of that, of course, comes at a cost, both in terms of time and clinical resources, and as well as financial cost. But we really do need to try and work together to get as many placement activities available to practitioners that want to develop their area of practice, so that we can really maximize that. Because ultimately, every optometrist that is able to do more can help more patients, and that takes off the loading further up in the patient care pathway. It gives patients the care that they need at the right time, in the right place, and by the most appropriate practitioner. And it really does help us to care for more people more quickly, and ultimately have better visual outcomes. So that really is, I think, a big challenge for us, those placements. Yes, so accomplishments are many that we've seen over the last few years, but I think the big one really is the ability to think beyond our normal scope of practice and to come up with innovative solutions to provide patient care. We've seen this in many areas within Europe, and I'll home in on a very, very local one, if I may, and that's here in the city of Bradford in the north of England, where I live, where essentially we've brought into our university setting a glaucoma care clinic to provide an expanded glaucoma care service more locally for patients, that has got a great increase in the convenience for patients, that has allowed us to develop IT systems so we can link in clinical data gathering from optometrist consulting rooms and link that into the hospital patient record system. And we've built in student placements to that for undergraduate students, so they can actually see on a very local level patients that are essentially under hospital care, but they can see them in a very local setting. And then finally, to get the research side of that right, so we can actually measure and report on the success of that initiative. I really hope that those sort of schemes are rolled out further, actually, because they've been really beneficial for everyone. The hospital has found it really, really useful. The university has found it useful. The patients have found it useful. Practitioners have got a huge benefit from it too. So I really think that change in the thinking around how we provide eye care at that local level has been really good, and it's just an opportunity that we had and we took advantage of. We need to report on it fully now. It's now down to us to try and get that great success story communicated across our nation and then into the European setting. We have some good conferences coming up over the coming months, and I hope to be able to present some of that information to enable others to do the same.